The storm had passed, but the forest was still breathing heavily. Leaves glistened with rain, the air smelled of wet earth, and somewhere, deep within the trees, a man named Raghav walked carefully along a broken trail. He was a quiet man, one who lived close to the forest, mending fences, gathering herbs, and sometimes helping the forest guards. But that morning, he found something that would change his life forever. Under a fallen tree lay a leopard, still, silent, gone. And beside her, two tiny cubs, shivering in the cold. They were crying, their eyes not yet open, their small bodies searching for warmth that was no longer there. Raghav looked around. No other leopard in sight. No sound except the drip of rain from the branches above. He stood there for a long time, torn between fear and compassion. Then, gently, he lifted the cubs into his coat and whispered, "Don't worry, little ones. You'll be safe." At home, he made a small shelter out of bamboo and straw near his backyard. He warmed milk on the fire, wrapped a soft cloth around a bottle, and fed them drop by drop. At first they hissed, tiny teeth flashing, but soon they purred softly against his hand. Raghav smiled. "Tara," he said to the first one, and Beam, to the other. Days turned into weeks. The cubs learned to walk, then to run, tumbling over each other in the courtyard. They followed him everywhere, into the fields, by the river, even when he went to cut firewood. The villagers watched with fear. "They'll grow up and kill you one day," they warned. But Raghav only laughed. "They know my scent better than their own," he said. As months passed, the cubs became strong. Their golden fur gleamed in the sunlight. Raghav taught them to climb trees, to listen to the forest, to stalk quietly before they pounced. He never chained them, never caged them. He only showed them what it meant to be free. But freedom has its own price. One day, the forest officers came. They said the cubs must be taken to the reserve, where they could live like true leopards. Raghav didn't argue. He knew this day would come. That evening, he walked them to the edge of the forest, the same place where he had found them. He knelt, resting his hands on their heads. "Go," he whispered. "The forest is your home, not this old man's yard." The cubs looked at him for a moment. Then, as if they understood, they turned and disappeared into the shadows. Raghav stood there long after they were gone, listening to the silence of the trees. Years passed. Seasons changed. Raghav grew older, slower. His hair turned silver, his voice softer. One day, he returned to the same forest, just to see it once more, the place that had given him both love and loneliness. The forest ranger who accompanied him laughed. "Don't wander too far, old man. Leopards roam these parts." Raghav smiled. "I know," he said. "I used to live among them." He walked down the familiar trail until he reached the fig tree, the very spot where he had said goodbye. There, he sat on a rock, closed his eyes, and listened. A twig snapped. When he opened his eyes, two leopards stood before him, a large male and a graceful female with golden eyes. His heart stopped for a moment. The female stepped closer. Raghav didn't move. He simply whispered, "Tara." The leopard's ears twitched. She came nearer, pressed her head against his shoulder, and let out a low, deep purr, a sound he had not heard in years. Her partner watched quietly, as if understanding something beyond words. For a few silent seconds, man and beast stood together, not as keeper and wild creature, but as old friends reunited. Then, without another sound, the two leopards turned and vanished into the forest, leaving only paw prints in the soft earth. That night, as Raghav sat by the campfire, the ranger asked, "Was that really your cub?" Raghav smiled faintly and looked toward the forest. "Some bonds," he said, "are not forgotten. They just wait for the right silence to return. Love doesn't always speak. Sometimes, it simply walks beside you, on silent pause.